Nick Kyrgios, the Aussie bad boy, is known for making some of the most questionable moves on the court. From spitting on people while playing to fighting over towels, here are Nick Kyrgios' most disrespectful moments on the court. The first one is a pretty famous stunt of his. Do you remember the time he called a fan drunk and got sued for it? Yep, that actually happened. When the Aussie is playing and things don't go his way, he can react in a number of questionable ways, and this was just one of them. So, when he was playing the Wimbledon final back in July, he felt like there was a distraction in the crowd and the man felt the need to call it out. He immediately called out to the referee that there was a woman in the audience who kept distracting him. When asked who he was talking about and what the deal was, Nick kept questioning why she was allowed to be in the audience. The umpire, asking as if to mellow down the situation, said he didn't know who Nick was talking about. And that's exactly when the Aussie stopped play and pointed out the person for the umpire. He said, and I quote, "It's the one with the outfit, the one who looks like she's had about 700 drinks, dude. Yikes." Things got a little heated and the woman, Anna, was removed from the game. Anyway, unlike many other people who tend to ignore his outbursts, the woman who was called out went and took some action. She later said that it wasn't fair to get her removed and clarified that she only had 2 drinks, so it wasn't even that big of a deal. And to teach Nick a lesson, she sued him as well, claiming that she had been super excited to watch him play, but what he did was disappointing.
There's a lot of celebrities here, there's a lot of important people here watching, and I wanted to get on that court and show them that I am able to put my head down and play and win these big matches. And for the tennis world, I think it's important as well because people were really starting to doubt my ability to.
Gotta give it to the woman for standing up for herself. This next one was criticized by many all over the world. It's the time he did an X-rated stunt while playing. Yep, you heard that right. At this point, I think the masses should start expecting the most unexpected things from him. If you thought his shouting at people and umpires was it, you're so wrong. Just when the world thought we had seen it all from the Aussie, Kyrgios did something that left the masses gaping. He was sitting down, resting on the court, when he made a gesture using his water bottle. The gesture was supposed to be aimed toward those in the player's box, so he basically held the bottle near his groin and pretended as if he was performing an inappropriate act. Bro, isn't tennis supposed to be a gentleman's sport? Is that what gentlemen are doing lately? Anyway, he finished it up by spraying the water into the air and then taking a sip from it, and if that wasn't enough, he even grinned after doing it. Anyway, it looks like the universe didn't like his move either because he lost the same match to Marin. And the officials were also pretty unimpressed with him throughout the match because he was fined £13,000. This next one is where he throws a tantrum.
I played 12 to 13 events last year and felt like that was a lot of tennis, so I'm always going to have to keep that in mind. Obviously there are players that need a lot of matches going into a Grand Slam, but me, I just like to feel fresh.
Nick was blamed for not trying hard enough, and what came next was outrageous, to say the least. Basically, he was playing in the Shanghai Open, and the world watching him play felt like he had the potential to do so much better than what he was putting forward. Like, there was even a point in the match when he literally just started walking away from Misha Zverev. His opponent sent the ball back. So you see how people were right in thinking what they did. Anyway, not just the fans, but the umpire noticed it as well and told him to act professionally. Well, apparently that didn't sit right with the Aussie because he replied, "Can you call time so I can finish this match and go home?" And then he was given a 3-month-long ban. Obviously, a lot of people advised him to forgive and move on, but he refused to do so, saying that he didn't owe it to anyone. Ouch, that must have been bitter for the fans. He also said that it's his choice however he played.
I didn't have the best preparation. It's on me. I did a couple of things in the off season that I'm probably not going to do next time, and it's on me, I guess. My body's not in good enough shape, and
he added that he didn't ask anyone to come watch him play, and if they didn't like it, they should just leave. So when he was playing against Richard, many people accused he wasn't trying hard enough to win the game. And then the Aussie claimed that everyone knows he's unpredictable, so they shouldn't have been disappointed. Wow. The worst part of all this is that this wasn't the first time he pulled a stunt like this. After all of us remember the time back in 2015 when he was literally booed by the viewers for not trying. Anyway, this next one one isn't downright disgusting. Do you remember the time he spat on people while in court? Jeez, the man really has done it all. Whenever the Aussie gets angry, he does the most unimaginable things, and this was just one of them. He was playing a second-round match against the world-famous Benjamin Bonzi when the pressure got to his head. He was just about to lose, and that didn't sit right with him. So, to show his frustration, Nick just started spitting. Sure, he was spitting on the ground, but he had his eye aimed at the player box the entire time, which made it all the more disrespectful. Hate to see his player box getting treated like that.
Honestly, probably the best server I played this tournament, to be honest, the way he was hitting his spots under pressure. And he just played the big points well. There wasn't really anything in it. I'm just devastated, obviously.
And if you thought the disrespect ended with this spitting, you're so wrong. The man even started shouting obscenities at the player box. The world was obviously outraged by his moves, and he got quite a lot of backlash for what he did. This next one isn't as disgusting, but it definitely is super mean. Do you remember the time he disrespected the umpire because he couldn't get the right color towel? After winning the Washington Open only days before, he was playing Kyle Edmund in the Canadian Open, but his thoughts were on something else. Kyrgios has had many career-long meltdowns in which he has complained about anything from referee calls to noise from the audience, and this one was about towels. The Australian chair umpire was given specific instructions to request a simple white towel rather than the standard tournament issue towels. He was heard yelling at the umpire saying, "I'm effing frustrated, man, an effing white towel." I asked him, "How hard is it? It's a white towel."
Behind the baseline, and he makes a lot of returns, so I think it's important to mix up serve and volley whenever you can if you feel confident doing that. But I mean, today I thought he actually played really well. I thought he played well.
5 games for a white towel. Apparently, there was all this fuss because he was given a branded towel instead of a plain white one. Kyrgios' anger persisted throughout the opening set, which he eventually lost 6-3. He kept asking the umpire to get him a white towel, but he was never given the service he requested. The umpire answered that he could not leave his seat, but Nick had an answer for that too. He said, "But you have a radio. I asked you at the start of the match. You're telling me you can't radio in for one white towel?" Announcers had to apologize to the crowd for the foul language heard over courtside microphones, and Kyrgios was given a code violation. This final one was when he was rude to his opponent. So Nick was playing in the 2015 Montreal Masters when he kinda crossed the line. While playing against Stan Wawrinka, the Aussie thought that trash talking was the way to win, and so right in the middle of the second set he said, "Kokkinakis banged your girlfriend, sorry to tell you, mate." Yikes. The officials obviously didn't like it, and he was given a fine of £10,000 and was suspended for 28 days as well. Stan also wrote on Twitter how he was super disappointed that Nick stooped so low. Anyway, that's all I have for you today on Nick's most disrespectful moments.